making the actual insurance claim. If you have insurance coverage, whether it be in homeowners or a commercial policy, a flood policy, an industrial property policy, these types of policies, you want to give notice to the insurance company and you want to get paid the amount of money that you're due. It's very important, therefore, to follow some steps to maximize your chance to get a claim. Let me state those steps and then we'll go back over them. The first kind of group or category would be documentation, things which show the damage. The second would be what are the forms we need to fill out with the insurance company to ensure that we have a claim that will be recognized by the insurance company. Another category would be involved with the process of what are the things you need to do once you have taken the documentation and put it together with the forms and told the insurance company. So let's deal with each. Each one of these categories will be broken out in a separate video that explains it in more detail. But for now, let's understand that documentation is what proves that you suffered damage. Where are the pictures of the roof torn off? The pictures of the flood waters that have rings around your house? The pictures of the broken tile? The clothes that were destroyed? The sidewalks, walkways, trees, whatever's covered, shed, fencing. Where's the documentation that shows that that was caused by the event? For example, Hurricane Sandy. You have to demonstrate to the insurance company that this was caused by something which is covered under the policy. If your house was dilapidated and wasn't taken care of and you didn't maintain it, and then along came a storm and you suffered damages as a result, well, maybe that was not caused by the storm. Maybe that was caused by poor maintenance. So you can see the difference of, I need to make sure I have documentation that's going to show what exactly happened to the property and that it was caused by that event. In a perfect world, I might have a picture before the storm or pictures before the storm and video before the storm. And then the day after the storm, I have pictures and I have video showing the destroyed parts of the property. If I did that, and some of you have, then I have much clearer confidence that the insurance company is going to recognize that that was a condition that didn't exist before the storm. But either way, the important thing is to document your damages, whether you have pictures before or not. Now, you can document your damages by taking photographs, by taking video, by writing down, by making pictures of the described area, and then putting that together in some sort of package format. What do I mean by that? For example, if you take pictures of your house, you want to describe on the pictures what the type of damage and where it is at in your property. So, for example, I might want to take some digital photos, put it on the computer, and then write a message. This is the bathroom in the main bedroom. This is the entryway, the foyer. This is the screened-in porch area. This is the third bedroom, which is in the back left portion of the home. I might want to have that data accompanying the picture. I might also add, if it's a visible thing, chipped wall, broken tile, if it's not already obvious. You can draw arrows. Anything that you can do to help display is always a benefit. If you're taking video, you can either talk along with the video, or you can get the video professionally done, or get a friend of yours that maybe is at the art school or has some skills to help you to write out certain parts of the video and where they are in the particular rooms. The concept is to try to document in a way that not only pictorially displays it, but also visually in a written format tells you what it is that I'm looking at. If I do that, I'm going to have good documentation. I want to make sure that if I have pictures of the property beforehand, I certainly want to include those also. But it's important to have this kind of visual evidence that shows the type of damage. Now, if you have an expert come out, which I recommend everybody to have, an engineer, a law firm that retains, expert estimators and other people to come out, perhaps even a public adjuster if they can help you. You can have them come out and actually correlate those damages for you. They can say, I have been an engineer for X number of years, and I'm going to write a report that says this is the exact type of damage that's caused by hurricane, that's caused by high winds, that's caused by an immense amount of water entering a premises. If you think about it, if you were the insurance company, the more proof that you had supplied to you, the more likely you would be to pay a claim. That's not to say they won't pay a claim if it doesn't have all that. But if you use common sense, it's important to document. When we handle cases, whether it's my law firm or it's other law firms that I work with, we make sure that we have an expert report or an estimate that accompanies all these photographs. And they're described and they're packaged in a way, and then a cover letter is put on that explains exactly what those documents are. So we can show the insurance company that we're taking this very seriously and we've gone to every length to document those damages. That's an excellent way to approach the claim. But either way, what's important is to understand in this documentation category that I want to make sure I'm providing proof. I'm providing things which are helpful. In some cases, you may even have the neighbors write out on a piece of paper or sign an affidavit that says, I was there the day before the storm and their house didn't look like this. And all this damage that I see looks like it came from the storm, or it did come from the storm. You can imagine as you start widening your amount of documentation, how strong your case can be. Now, once you have this documentation, you have to supply it to the insurance company. Now, how do you supply it? Well, there are a number of different ways to supply that information. Sometimes you can do it through email. Sometimes you can mail it to them. Sometimes you can fax. But the concept is, I want to get the material to the insurance company. Occasionally, if you call up and make a claim, you call up the insurance agent or the insurance company, and you tell them you want to report a claim, and they get you to the proper reporting place, they may say to you, hey, if you have the documents, scan them to us. Or if you have the documents, mail them to us. Some even are getting sophisticated enough to where you can go online and fill out information. But you want to make sure, you want to guarantee that they get that information. So if you find out where their residence is, where their office is, you can overnight a copy with a cover letter that makes sure it gets there, with a return receipt, with a documentation that's showing that it was actually mailed and delivered to that location, to that person, and they signed off on it. The concept is, I'm not only taking the documentation, I want to provide it to the insurance company. Now, some insurance companies will have you fill out forms accompanying that. One of the most popular forms is called a proof of loss. A proof of loss is just what it sounds like. It's proof of your loss. Now, some label it in the longer way of a sworn statement in proof of loss or in support of your proof of loss. But the concept is that what it is simply, say, a one-page document, usually not much longer, that will ask you basic information. What is your policy coverage? How much damage did you suffer? What are you claiming that the insurance company owes you? And signing under penalty of sometimes felonies that you're telling the truth. And you'll send that form in. Sometimes you can send it in with your initial documents. Sometimes the insurance company may just have you supply it at another time. But you need to fill out that form because in almost every case, it will be a condition precedent. That is a condition before you can get payment. Now, if you put together that proof of loss with the documentation, you can imagine how we're continuing to build more data, more support that's helping us. But we're filling out the forms that the insurance company has. Now, in addition to what forms the insurance company has and the documentation you're supplying either with the forms or at a later time, you want to talk about the other things that need to get done. That is the processing of the claim so that you can most effectively get a result that's favorable. And what is this how to process a claim part? Well, it's your active role. It's you getting involved in the management of your claim. If you have a public adjuster or a lawyer, it's them getting actively involved. It is not somebody just giving you lip service and saying, don't worry, I'll handle your claim, I'll get back to you. It is somebody who is documenting in writing to the insurance company all of the things that need to get done. Whether it's when they're coming out for an inspection, confirming that inspection, who are the people that are appearing at that inspection, who are the people that you're going to have at that inspection, what experts are you going to have, when is that going to occur, when will there be reports, when will the insurance company pay your claim, if not, what's the explanation for not paying your claim, what items of damage do they disagree with, why aren't they responding to inquiries that you make, etc., etc. But you can see that if you think about it, the more that you document, the more that you process, the more that you aggressively pursue the claim, the higher likelihood it is that you're going to get attention and perhaps recovery. And I say that you should do it in a pleasant way. We're not writing horrible letters that you're a terrible company and, we're going to sue you. What you're writing is letters that explain to the insurance company that they need to pay because you've provided the documentation. And if they haven't received the documentation, or they believe you haven't done something, for them to write you back. Sometimes when you have phone calls, whether it's a phone call with a lawyer, with an insurance company, with a public adjuster, translation can get mixed up later. People have forgetful memories or remember things differently. When you write things, when you email, when you write a letter, those things tend to have a sustainability to them, much more credibility to them in what actually occurred and what actually was the understanding between the parties. If you have a public adjuster involved or a lawyer involved, they should be actively pursuing your claim. And they should be writing letters, and if you want copies of them, you ought to be able to get copies of them. Do not take, I'll get back to you, I've got it under control, as a way of having your claims processed. What you do is you want them to write letters. When are they coming out? When is that insurance company coming out to inspect? If the insurance company has been out to inspect, what is the delay in them either issuing payment or them telling you why they're not issuing payment? What additional information is needed? What additional inspections are needed? If you don't believe their claim and they've already come out before you've gotten a lawyer or somebody of that stature involved, then did you get your expert out there? Did you do a report and send it to them and say, we have now sent you a report that has the expert support for our claim? What is your response to that? When are you paying us? When are you paying us the X dollars? When are you paying us for the items which are listed in the proof of loss? And understand, as we went over the insurance policy, there may be different claims. So you may have clothing that got destroyed, but you also may have a roof that got destroyed. That's under two separate coverages, so there's no reason why they can't pay one or the other. So if they agree that you clearly have damage to your clothing and they need to pay you the $1,000, they can't wait until the other claim is resolved. They're supposed to pay you when there is a duty to pay. And so you want to have documentation showing what do you need more from me, and constant reminding them if they haven't paid or they haven't responded. And that includes, this is my first letter, this is my second letter, this is my third letter, this is my eighth letter. You have to document. They have thousands of claims, and in disaster situations, hundreds of thousands of claims. It's easy for your claim to get lost, even if it's done inadvertently. You keep that claim in front of them by documenting, by getting a lawyer involved, by getting people who can help you to process that claim. If you want to do it yourself, great. Then you need to write all those letters. You need to know what to say. What's important is that you're taking an active role in processing your claim. Again, if you're not comfortable with that, or you don't really know, or you're afraid you're not going to say the right thing, call a lawyer. Call an adjuster. In making that decision, you are going to determine how fast your claim gets processed. If you don't do anything about it, if you make a phone call and you make a claim and they don't come out and you don't call them, you have no one to blame but yourself. So take an active role in your claim or get the professionals involved that are important. These are good areas of summary to sort of give you a picture of the types of things that need to be covered. Hope it works well for you.